Well, this comes just days after he was released from jail and after nearly a month of being locked up. Letian Shi has intentionally avoided cameras. His reason, he says he isn't the man who did this. Torched a Wallingford home in June and killed a 72-year-old woman. Murder and arson charges against him just dismissed over doubt about the identification of Shi as the suspect. Casey McNerthney with the prosecutor's office. What was the specific information that led to the dismissal?
And that's the hard part, is that that's really for police investigators. What I can tell you is there was information that came to light that made us question the suspect's identity.
I wanted to interview Shi. His defense team released a statement instead. Time and time again, police ignored exculpatory evidence that would have kept an innocent man from spending a month behind bars for no reason. They argued from the moment of his arrest on July 10th that police got the wrong guy. The prosecution initially linked him to the fatal fire through surveillance video and a fast food receipt. The defense insisted he was home that night and pointed to side-by-side photos of Shi and a man captured on surveillance video, pointing out his face was more narrow, his nose and hairline different. This experience has deeply wounded Mr. Shi. His lack of trust in the criminal legal system has robbed him of his sense of safety, haunted by the fear that he will be taken yet again from his community without reason.
You see this happen in the movies, and you see defense attorneys say all the time, you've got the wrong guy. But when it actually happens, this is obviously a nightmare for the suspect. And it's also a nightmare for the prosecutor's office because you want to be sure you've got the right guy.
Mark Lindquist, a former Pierce County prosecutor.
It's extremely rare, but it can happen. If this were a generic drug case, you would never hear about this because police wouldn't have picked the suspect up until they gathered more evidence. But because this was an arson and a murder, police moved on it more quickly than they would a generic case.
If he right now is not the suspect, the defendant, then who is? Who's the perpetrator here?
That's a good question, and I think that's one that Seattle Police can answer.
So I did reach out to the Seattle Police Department today. I did have very specific questions about this case. They referred me to a blotter post that they released just late this afternoon where they said they're continuing their investigation here, that the arson suspect remains at large, and they did acknowledge that at one point they had a suspect who they have now released, and they said new evidence points to that man being innocent. That's the very latest. Michelle Esteban, KOMO News.